is a journey that inspires generations and one that proves that we are made of more. 10Bet, official betting partner of Bafana Bafana.
Thanks so much for joining us on Morning Live Sport. Now, in 2023, the Bulls Daisies became South Africa's first professional women's rugby side. It was a landmark moment in domestic sport, for women's sport actually, in South Africa. And for those that don't know, all other teams operate on a semi-professional or amateur basis. And what that actually means is players may not necessarily receive salaries. They probably work part-time jobs, or they're studying part-time as well. They don't have access to resources and structures like physiotherapy, nutritional support, and other structures like that. And then just 3 weeks ago, they made greater strides by signing Isuzu as their titled sponsor. And as we reflect upon the professionalization of women's sport in South Africa in this Women's Month, these are the real conversations and important conversations that we need to have. We are out at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria today, and I'm joined by Behandre Adolf. You'll know her as a junior Springbok captain, but now she is a test ace with 21 caps to her name, and she dazzled on the field last weekend in our victory against the New Zealand Black Ferns. I'm also joined by Iviwe Poti. She is the marketing manager of Isuzu South Africa. And ladies, we are having an important conversation about the professionalization of the sport. Behandre, you just came back from a Springbok alignment camp. Swayster Brain is obviously doing some amazing things when it comes to women's rugby. I know we're making strides very slowly, but it's still in the right direction, right? Tell me what you think about where the professionalization of rugby is going, and what makes you so excited to be a part of this?
The professionalization side of it is that we getting the needs to make us the best athlete possible.
Yes.
So, and I think that's a great thing.
What are those needs that are met? What are the type of conversations that you're having with managers and coaches about what you guys really need?
It's just to go to the gym, getting the right people to look after our bodies, and basically it's that.
And when you chat to your male rugby, your friends, your counterparts as well, what are some of the things that you think you still need in the women's game?
I think it's the physicality, but it's coming bit by bit. For women, it's compared to men, they're more physical than us. So yeah, I think that's.
So are you saying that you think that we need to improve in strength and conditioning in the gym? Is that what you mean by physicality?
Yes, definitely, ma'am. But if I look at other players, maybe I'm just tiny and I would say this, but
yes,
there is a woman that's putting it more in the gym, and that's when they get
yeah, they grow. Yeah, it helps from that perspective, and that makes complete sense to me. If you were, I can see you, sort of see you there, but I mean, Isuzu coming on board is such. It's also a landmark moment. I said that being the first professional side for the Bulls Daisies is a landmark moment, but getting sponsors like this, because we were just chatting off air, we cannot grow a game without the commercial interest and without the commercial support. I'm sure proposals were put at your desk, and you had to really review them and understand why it was important to come on board, and just give us a sense of what made you decide to ultimately sign those checks, many checks that are coming your way.
Definitely. The sponsorship is very important to us as Isuzu Motor South Africa. It speaks directly to our values. When we talk about us building our heritage, you'll remember that we are a very young OEM, and also recognizing the impact that we have across Africa. And through a sponsorship like this, it allows us the opportunity to support women, to support transformation, to support those moves that we are making as a country to shift the societal norms, and also gender equality and equality and the likes. So we've been with the Bulls Daisies since inception, obviously not as a title sponsor. So when they came on board to say there's this opportunity, it was big for us as a company, because we know what it means. We know what it means also for the young girls that are growing in the disadvantaged areas and the likes, because most of these ladies are also coming from those backgrounds. So it then spans wider than what we think on the rugby field, but gives us that opportunity to inspire dreams and to allow people to know that, you know what, this is possible and it can happen. And as you said earlier, there's still the conversation of challenges when it comes to equal salaries and opportunities. So if corporates come on board, it's the same thing that has happened for sports in the male sector. If we can build that, these opportunities when it comes to South Africa will be equivalent, and women in sports will be just as equally as recognized.
I mean, you've worked in my position, so reporting on things from a different perspective must have informed some of your decisions. How is the sponsorship, as you rightly touched on, development, how is it trickling all the way down to make sure that we have more Behandre Dolphs playing in the Bulls Daisies, playing in other professional outfits as well, and then representing the Springbok women?
So when it comes to our relationship with the Blue Bulls, it's a very long-standing relationship, and thus it has spanned over to the Blue Bulls Daisies. So what we do together is also look at opportunities when it comes to CSI, corporate responsibility.
Okay.
So when we will see the Daisies go and have their sports camps or their visits to different areas, especially those that are disadvantaged, you'll definitely see them going there in an Isuzu. Our relationship started from a vehicle partner perspective and has grown. So we haven't taken away empowering them with vehicles to make sure that they reach their destinations. So you might not see an Isuzu person, but you'll definitely see our brand supporting them in all their community initiatives.
But Andre, I mean, you guys, the Blue Bulls, the Bulls Daisies rather, you guys take up so much space within the Springbok women's squad, right? Just give us a sense and help us understand what it means to be part of a professional team and how that lends to, or how that supports your goals for the Springbok women. And maybe you want to touch on some of the things that you guys have access to here and how then that influences the success that you see in the Springbok women's team. In terms of your training and your coaching and some of the things that we might not even think about.
Yeah, the professional side of it is that it's more or less the same what we're doing at Springbok Women's Camp and what we're doing at the Daisies. Like we go to meetings, like we go to the gym, and we have an hour and a half session on the field. In the other franchises, they don't have that, so that's like giving us the upper hand when we go to camp.
Yeah. Do you have friends in the other franchises that speak to you and they're like, yo, I wish we had this and I wish we had that? What are they sharing?
Yeah, especially my friend Mary Zulu, we're very close on camp, so she would be like, buddy, if ever I had that, I would also like have bigger steps like in my career. So yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for chatting to me. I think even though it's a short period of time, these are very important conversations, as Behandre just outlined now, that she's speaking to other female players in other franchises, and they're lamenting and wishing that they had the structures that they have here at the Bulls Daisies, and now they are the Isuzu Bulls Daisies. So we're out at Loftus Versfeld. We'll continue the conversation with these ladies, but it's back to you guys in the studio for now.